let me ask you something deep. Let me ask you something that can allow you to speak from your heart. So, if I can, Ryan, what's your connection to God? And what is that like for you?
Yeah, that is a good question. Okay, so I have to take you back for just a minute. I was raised very fundamentalist, literalist Christian, and just taught very black and white things about Christianity. You have to believe A, B, and C. You have to believe this about Jesus, otherwise you're going to go to hell. Um, Other people of this religion or that religion, or basically any other spiritual belief other than this, they're going to hell. Homosexuals, they're going to hell. It was just like this whole thing. And I was, when you're a child, it's like, for instance, if your parents tell you Santa Claus is on the roof, you're just going to believe them. And so I got to the point where I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I had all of these beliefs that just didn't feel in alignment with the level of love that I felt towards certain people. I was like, this just doesn't make sense. And then also, I always felt that I was meant to love people on a massive scale in some way, just by sharing a message, speaking into people's lives. I initially thought it was going to be through music because I was pursuing a music career most of my life. And so I was like, okay, it's going to take root through this thing. But long story short, I just started being honest with myself. And then I started being honest with other people. And I started losing friends. I started losing family members who considered me backsliding. They're like, oh, like he's not following Jesus anymore. And it was very painful, but I could feel this truth within me that whatever adversity I was experiencing through that was part of the journey for me. And it was very painful to be excommunicated by certain people that I thought loved me. So there was pain in that. Um, and so for me, man, God is my experience of God. Uh, very general. It is love. And, the times I've had psychedelic experiences and it tied everything, the oneness and the vastness of everything. And I realized that I'm mostly playing a character, the character of Ryan, who is a male, who is a musician, who has a YouTube channel, who, is doing all these things. And I really like this character a lot. And I'm grateful to be this character and to love people through this character. But God transcends all religion at this point, and it's tough for me. I don't really always come out and say that because it's perceived as blasphemous by most people who latch on to a specific religion. And I have such a direct empathy and understanding for how strong that is when you're latched into a specific religion that I just tread lightly. I don't go around just telling people like, hey, your ego's tied to this specific religion, and then within the religion there's theologies and interpretations that other people's ego, and it's like this endless thing. Me being set free of that is a fucking miracle, and I don't even fully know how it happened. Like it just gradually took place, and some of these thoughts entered my mind and my spirit from taking walks, and then it ultimately led me down accidental psychedelic and mystical experiences, which led to intentional psychedelic and mystical experiences. And I don't talk about these things to the extent that you do typically, because I believe that my path, at least for the time being, is to teach some of the more superficial things,
Mm,
fitness,
mm,
going within and forgiving yourself, because a lot of those terms are kind of abstract, but at the end of the day, I think God is the essence of every individual. And they don't see that within themselves because it's covered by layers and layers of trauma and ego and identification and all those things. So whenever, I don't know, I cry every day during meditation. And I used to think something was wrong with me. But now I think that's just an individual manifestation of spirit coming through me. It's like whenever I meditate and I'm in that oneness feeling, I have these like tears that just automatically come down my face. It's the craziest thing. Um, So if I could sum up the answer, I'd say that my experience of God is hard to put into language, but I try. Yeah.
Oh man. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing that, dude. That is fucking profound. Yeah, me too, Brian.